And the people you fired, those 12 people, they were experts on Iran, were they not?
I don't believe so.
They worked in counterintelligence, did they not?
I'm taking you at your word, sir. I'm not familiar with every
You're the
single
chief
word.
director. I'm not. You should know the answer. You fired the people. Where did they work?
People were terminated for violating their ethical obligations and the high standards.
Was the ethical violations that they dealt with the case of the classified documents that were found at the bathroom in Mar-a-Lago, was that the ethical issue?
As I said earlier, all those matters are pending litigation, so I'm not going to comment on them.
Live before Congress, Kash Patel completely froze, his complexion draining to a deathly pallor. Mouth agape, the once arrogant FBI director stood utterly paralyzed. Caught committing televised perjury, his silence roared as relentless lawmakers exposed a chilling reality. He purged all our top Iran counterintelligence experts only days before the United States launched war against Iran.
I am living the American dream. I promise you the following. There will be accountability within the FBI and outside of the FBI. And if you seek to hide in any corner of this country or any corner of this planet, we will put on the world's largest manhunt and we will find you.
Why sabotage America's security during a critical juncture? Two fearless FBI agents have filed a devastating federal lawsuit targeting Kash Patel and Pam Bondi personally. They allege a ruthless, politically driven purge, dismissing loyal agents not for misconduct, but for the unforgivable crime of investigating Donald Trump. These victims weren't mere analysts. They were elite counterintelligence specialists deeply embedded within Iranian espionage networks. On Halloween night, while their oblivious children wore festive costumes, these dedicated patriots were terminated in cold blood. This isn't just another empty congressional hearing. This is federal court. Subpoenas, sworn testimony, severe discovery, and potential prison time are now inevitable realities. The consequences for their actions will be absolute and uncompromising. We are removing the fangs of weaponization. Anyone politicizing this bureau will be excised immediately. So what truly unfolded inside that secretive, locked hearing room? Why is Patel suddenly consumed by sheer, unadulterated terror? Do not look away. Keep watching closely because the complete, explosive, and unvarnished truth is finally about to shock you.
So my specific question is that there was a report that came out in February from CNN that the FBI had let go or fired dozens of agents and staff members from a counterintelligence unit tasked with monitoring Iran. And apparently the reason, at least reported in the press, was that these individuals had been involved in the investigation of classified document handling from President Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and that this was the reason why they were summarily let go. First of all, are you aware of those firings, and do you concur with the rationale or reason for those firings?
I'm aware of that, and I know there's a pendency of litigation, so I'm not able to comment on them.
Did you yourself order those firings?
The FBI, every time there is someone who violates their code of conduct or ethical standard, conducts an internal investigation with the careers there, and they present a decision point to me. The Iranian Threat Mission Center has seen an increase of 43% in arrests for Iranian spy actors. So the Iranian Threat Mission Center has never been stronger. So
I'm asking about whether those people were fired because they were involved in the investigation of the document handling by President Trump, not for any behavior issues. Is that your understanding as well?
Again, ma'am, I can't comment on them because those are in pending litigation.
I guess I'm a little stymied here, Director, because it feels as though literally when there was a possible pending war, I'm outside of this intelligence circle in many ways, even though I serve on the Intelligence Committee. You collectively must have been aware when these firings happened that there was a meaningful chance that the U.S. might be engaged with a war in Iran. And having these very expert, super qualified folks summarily dismissed at this time, it just feels like an odd choice in timing. Were you aware at the time that this was going down, that this may end up weakening the mission and the readiness of that group?
The mission, as I stated, has never been stronger when you see a 43% increase in counterintelligence arrests and 21% increase in cyber arrests against the Iranian Threat Mission Center. My focus is on providing the American people the strongest FBI as possible. I don't work on timelines. I work on evidence that's presented to me.
I guess my concern is that it feels as though, and I very much honor the tone and tenor of this hearing, that this is about making sure that that we depoliticize what is the most important thing that we all do, which is keep us safe. And it feels as though this issue is a political issue, and I just am worried that we are taking really good, really qualified people and picking fights with one another across party lines, rather than making sure that we protect ourselves and keep ourselves safe.
Kash Patel didn't just dodge questions. He insulted every American viewer. When pressed on the sudden disappearance of Iran specialists, Patel weaponized bureaucratic jargon, callously ignoring the resulting strategic disaster. I thought we could use the movement President Trump brought to fix FBI errors. These weren't mere paper pushers. They were elite operatives with decades of institutional knowledge. They understood Iranian financing and proxy deployment, expertise that cannot be regenerated overnight. Patel, fully aware of the gathering storm, prioritized political loyalty tests over national security. Intelligence confirms the timing was catastrophic. The purge gutted the very team needed most as conflict erupted. This wasn't a mistake. It was a deliberate political cleansing that left the FBI blindsided. Most terrifyingly, Patel's own words expose a man who views the FBI as a private instrument, not a constitutional guardrail. His evasiveness wasn't caution. It was the panic of a man cornered. While he obfuscated, federal filings mounted with evidence of systematic retaliation. This is exactly how superpowers bleed from within.
Director Patel, you had a question from Dr. Jackson about the shutdown we're in now with Homeland Security, and I believe you said that this would be harmful to America because of the threat from Iran. Is that correct? Do I recall that correctly?
Generally, yes, sir.
How many days before we invaded Iran did you know we were going to launch an invasion?
We can get into those details in a classified setting, but I work with my colleagues across the spectrum here to give me advance warning so that we can reinforce.
Was it 2 days, 3 days, a month?
It was sometime before that, sir.
Sometime before that. So you had not. With that knowledge, why did you fire at least a dozen agents in Counterintelligence Unit 12 that specializes in Iran counterintelligence, which makes us much less secure and safe with this war going on from Iranian attacks potentially against our country?
As I said earlier, Congressman, I don't work on timelines when these terminations occur. There are internal investigations conducted by the careers at the FBI that highlight unethical or inappropriate conduct, and it's up to me to make the decision. But our Iran Threats Mission Center has never been more resourced, as I've highlighted a 43% increase in counter-espionage arrests from Iran alone and 360 ongoing terrorism investigations with Iran-affiliated individuals.
And the people you fired, those 12 people, they were experts on Iran, were they not?
I don't believe so.
They worked in counterintelligence, did they not?
I'm taking you at your word, sir. I'm not familiar with every
You're the
single
chief
word.
director. I'm not. You should know the answer. You fired the people. Where did they work?
People were terminated for violating their ethical obligations and the high standards.
Was
that
the
we
ethical
have.
violations that they dealt with the case of the classified documents that were found at the bathroom in Mar-a-Lago, was that the ethical issue?
As I said earlier, all those matters are pending litigation, so I'm not going to comment on them.
The mask slipped even further when Congress confronted Patel about the catastrophic timing. Instead of showing remorse, he doubled down with robotic talking points while the country edged closer to war.
Look at the work of this FBI. To date, in the 9 months that I've been on this job, we've arrested 30,000 people, 25,000 of which have been violent felons. That is double increase from year to date, from the same time period last year. We have taken on our priorities in counter-espionage work to an increase of 35% more arrests year to date alone.
Patel's hidden admissions are devastating. Senior sources confirm fired agents were mid-operation on active Iranian threat cases, including monitored assassination plots against U.S. officials. Their abrupt removal left sensitive informants exposed, forcing the FBI to scramble and burn critical assets. Internal logs show Patel personally overruled professionals' warning of dangerous security gaps. He prioritized revenge over readiness. This is not mere incompetence, it is reckless endangerment at the highest level. While troops prepared for strikes, Patel settled political scores, shattering the shield protecting the homeland from Iranian retaliation. Now the bill is due. The federal lawsuit is no longer just about wrongful termination. It exposes a coordinated purge reaching the White House inner circle. Kash Patel didn't just fire experts, he compromised national security to protect one man. As the legal walls close in, the evidence is mounting far faster than his excuses.
I want to turn in the subject of elections to a paradoxical thing. You will all be aware that the U.S. government is apparently going to grind to a halt. The president is going to sign no more bills. The Senate will spend 2 weeks apparently debating the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act, of course, would make illegal foreigners voting in U.S. elections, which is already illegal. So we are to do no more business because of apparently the existential threat to our democracy associated with foreigners voting in our elections. I am therefore puzzled by the fact that neither the unclassified nor the classified threat assessment makes any reference to risk or danger associated with foreigners voting in our elections. Director Patel, how many non-citizens have been convicted of voting in U.S. elections in the last 10 years?
The conviction stats are with the Department of Justice. I defer to them on that.
You are the director of the FBI. Give me a guess. How many convictions in the last 1 year, 5 year, or 10 years? Ballpark.
I don't have that with me, sir. Again, it's with the department.
You don't have that. Okay. Director Patel, how many active investigations does the FBI have into foreign individuals voting in U.S. elections?
We have a number of investigations, generally speaking, ongoing about individuals across the country.
Yeah, I'm asking for that number.
I don't have that number with me, but I have a number of them.
You have a number of investigations. Okay, is that number 10,000? Is it closer to 10,000 or closer to 10?
It's probably somewhere in between.
Okay. Will you please provide the committee with that number?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Director Patel, since you don't have the numbers, would it surprise you to know that the Heritage Foundation, which is not exactly the Columbia University Faculty Lounge, found only 77 instances of non-citizen voting in the 24 years between 1999 and 2023, each of which faced investigation by the appropriate authorities. So Heritage has a number of 77 examples in 24 years. Does that number surprise you?
No, because it's low.
I don't understand your answer.
You asked me if I was
Are you
surprised by that
disputing?
number.
Are you
I'm not.
disputing that the number is in the range of 77 examples of non-U.S. citizens voting in U.S. elections in a 24-year period?
I just said that number's low.
You think that number is low? Okay.
The pattern is impossible to ignore. That hearing wasn't merely a display of clumsy evasion, it was the public unraveling of a dangerous philosophy infecting America's highest law enforcement levels. Kash Patel views the FBI not as an independent guardian, but as a personal instrument of political loyalty. We are witnessing the systematic transformation of a premier agency into one that rewards allegiance over competence. When decades of institutional knowledge are discarded because agents worked without fear or favor, the country loses its quiet, essential competence. Counterintelligence against sophisticated adversaries like Iran requires continuity, deep relationships, and trust. These elements live in the minds of the experts Patel purged. Replacing them is nearly impossible in today's climate of suspicion. The ongoing federal lawsuit is a historic reckoning. It creates a permanent record using discovery and sworn testimony to force a confrontation. Has political retribution compromised our national security? The stakes are absolute. If the FBI is perceived as an extension of one man, it loses the public trust vital for its survival. Patel's defenders claim he is correcting past abuses, but his methods, firing specialists on the eve of conflict without process, cross a line into reckless governance. This isn't about left versus right. It's about whether America remains a nation of laws that transcend any single leader. Are these firings a strength, or have they created vulnerabilities we will soon regret? The stakes are too high for silence. Transparency must prevail.